Hello, my name is Julie and welcome to my channel. And in this video, I know some people have asked for the tutorial on my tree skirt, and here it is. So this is obviously not in the traditional Christmas colors, it's more in the traditional fall colors. So without further ado, let's get started on how to make this tree skirt. So for this tree skirt, I am going to use the Mandela yarn, which is a size 3. And because it's a size 3, I am going to a size H hook. You can use size 4 in yarn and the J hook as suggested in the written pattern. But you can vary hook size and yarn size for this tree skirt. So this is pretty much just going to be the basic pattern. I also got some stitch markers to help keep track of our peaks. So we're going to start out by making a chain of 9. And this is 9, and we're in the 4th chain from hook, not the loop on. It doesn't. The loop on the hook doesn't count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4th one. We're going to do a double crochet. And we're going to do 2 double crochets in the remaining chains. Okay, we're going to chain 3. Turn. We're also going to do a double crochet in that first double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets into each double crochet. So that obviously that turning chain counted as a double crochet, so we're doing 2 in that one. Alright, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. So we chained 1, then the first stitch we're doing a single crochet. The next stitch we are doing 3 double crochets. The next stitch we're also going to do 3 double crochets. And that is going to be one of our peaks, so I'm going to use a stitch marker. I'm going to put it between the 2 3 double crochet groups. Okay, so the next in between, we're not doing in between the next 2 double crochets, we're doing a single crochet, so we're doing it in between the 2 stitches, And then in this stitch, we're going to skip the one we just did, the one in between, and the next one we're doing 3 double crochets. We're doing 3 double crochets in the next stitch. And then I'm going to put a stitch marker in between the 2 3 double crochet groups, and in between the next 2 double crochets we're going to put a single crochet. Then we're skipping this one, this double crochet, and in this next one we're doing 3 double crochets. And then in the next double crochet we're doing 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to put another stitch marker in between the 2 groups. You really don't have to do this step. This might be helpful to keep track. And so in the next, between the next 2 double crochets, we're going to do another single crochet. So we're skipping this double crochet, and then the next one we're doing 3 double crochets. Three double crochets in the next one to make our next peak. Then I'll put a stitch marker between our 2 groups for our peak. In between the next 2 double crochets, we're doing that single crochet. And then not this double crochet because it was one that had the single crochet between. And in this next one we're doing 3 double crochets. Doing 3 double crochets in the next stitch. And then in the next 2 stitches, we're between the next 2 stitches, we're doing our single crochet. And, oh, we're marking that one. We're putting a marker between our 2 groups. And then we're down to our last 3 double crochets, so we're going to do 3 double crochets into this next stitch. 3 into the next one, 3 double crochets into the next stitch. And 1 single crochet into that last turning chain. And we're going to put our marker between the 2 groups. Then we're going to chain, we'll chain 2, then return. So now these next 2 rows are pretty much going to be our repeat pattern rows. Okay, so for this next row, we're going to do 2 double crochets together. So we're going to do a decrease at the end. So I guess I can show you how to do our double crochet. Decrease, yarn over and pull up a loop in the first stitch, which was a single crochet. Yarn over and do 2 stitches or 2 loops. Yarn over, put the hook into the next double crochet. Yarn over and pick draw a loop. Yarn over and draw through 2 loops. Yarn over and draw through all 3 the remaining loops. Alright, so we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. And we are at the double crochet before our marker here. If you look, it is the last, or it is the end of our 3 double crochet group from the previous round. So we're going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch. And then take our marker out. We're going to do 3 double crochets into the stitch after the marker. Then we're going to put our marker back between our 2 3 double crochet groups. We're going to put a double crochet in the next stitch. Alright, so now we're about reaching our valley here, or going to be our dip. We are going to skip this double crochet, this single crochet, and this double crochet, and then double crochet in the next stitch. And then when we're back up to this 1 stitch before the marker, we're going to do 3 double crochets into that stitch. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to put our marker back in between the 2 3 double crochet groups for our peak. We're going to double crochet in our next stitch. And then we're back at our dip. We are going to skip this double crochet, this single crochet, and this double crochet, and double crochet into the next stitch. And we're back to the double crochet before our marker. Three double crochets. To make our peak. And three double crochets into our next stitch. Then we're going to put our marker back in between the two groups. Skip. Sorry, we're not skipping yet. We're doing a double crochet in the next stitch. Then if you see, we're back at our valley. So we're going to skip this double crochet, this single crochet, and this double crochet, and then double crochet into the next one, next stitch. And if you see, we're back at our stitch before the marker. We're doing three double crochets into that stitch. And three double crochets into that stitch next to the marker. All right, so I think we're going to repeat that around. I got a few more left. Okay, I am now at the last two stitches of our row, and that we need to do our double crochet decrease. So we're doing two together, so we're going to do our decrease, double crochet decrease in the last two stitches. We're going to chain one and turn. So this row will have a special stitch in it. We're going to do a long single crochet, and I'll show you what to do there. So the first two stitches, we're going to single crochet two together. So let's put our hook in our first stitch, draw up a loop, put our hook in the next stitch and draw up a loop, and yarn over and draw through all three loops. And that's our single crochet decrease. And we're going to double crochet up to one double crochet before our stitch marker. So in this case it was two. Double crocheting in the next two. We are one before the marker, one double crochet before our marker. We're going to do three double crochets into that. And then the next stitch, we're going to do three double crochets. Then we're going to put our marker back in between our two double crochet groups. All right, so then we're going to double crochet down to one double crochet at the end of our chevron or our peak. So we're going to do one in the next two. So thus you can see where our peak is, and then down from the row below that you'll see where we had our single crochet. So now we're going to do our special stitch, which is the long single crochet. So we're going to take our hook and put our hook into the single crochet from 2 rows before, and then we're going to pull up a loop around these 2 double crochets, kind of like draw it up so we have a longer loop, and then yarn over and draw through 2 loops, and that is our long single crochet. So obviously we are going to skip this first double crochet from our valley, and then we're going to double crochet in the next one and up to 1 before the marker. We're going to make our peak, so that's 3 double crochets into that stitch before the marker. Three double crochet in the stitch after the marker. Put our marker back between 2 groups, 2 3 double crochet groups. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet, in this case the next 2, or 1 before the end of our chevron, where I've reached our dip. So we're going to find the single crochet for 2 rows before. We're going to put our hook into that single crochet, yarn over and draw up a loop around these 2 double crochets here to make our long single crochet. Obviously then we're skipping this 1 stitch, or this 1 double crochet here, which was the beginning of the start of our next chevron, doing a double crochet into the next 2 double crochets, and we have reached the one before our marker. 1 double crochet before marker, so there's 3. Double crochets in that one. Three double crochets in the double crochet after this next marker. Put our marker back between the 2 groups. In this case we're doing a double crochet in the next 2. Now we see we are back down to our dip in our chevron, and we have this single crochet down here. So we are again doing that long single crochet by putting our hook into that single crochet from like 2 rows down, drawing up a loop around these 2 double crochets and yarn over, finishing up our loop. So see, we're going to skip this other double crochet we did our loop around, doing a double crochet into the next 2 double crochets, which brings us up to the 1 marker before the loop. So I'm going to finish up this row until I get back to my last 2 stitches, and I will finish up this row. Okay, we are down to our last 2 stitches of the row. We're going to do our single crochet decrease in these last 2 stitches. So that was the last 2 pattern rows for this tree skirt, but we will show you one more time because we are obviously increasing in each round. So we're going to chain 2. And we're going to do our double crochet decrease in the first 2 stitches. And then we're going to do a double crochet up to the 1 double crochet before our marker. So because we were keep increasing, we have 3 double crochets in this round before our marker. Okay. Oh, that's because I put my stitch marker in the wrong place. That is what was wrong. So yes, it is 3 in this round. So I had put my stitch marker in the wrong place. That's why I was confused. It was supposed to go here. And that's where we were going to put our 3 double crochets. Then the next stitch has 3 double crochets. Then we're going to put our stitch marker into the correctly between our 3 double crochet groups. All right, and then we're going to do our double crochet down. In this case, it's the next 3. Okay, and now we look down, we're at our little valley. So you can see that we have a double crochet. We have our long single crochet from our previous round, and then our next double crochet. We are going to skip all 3 of those and double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2. For 3 single crochets before we reach our peak. Just so I have my stitch marker correctly between our 2 groups. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into the stitch before the stitch marker. Move our marker and then do 3 double crochets into our next stitch marker. We are making our peak. putting our stitch marker between our two groups. Then we're doing 1 double crochet in our next 3 double crochets. Then you see we were at our next valley, which we have a double crochet, our long single crochet. In our double crochet, we are skipping all 3 of those and doing a double crochet into that next stitch. Create our little valley here and up, and a single crochet in the next 2. So I'm going to repeat this until I reach the last 2 stitches of our row. You probably will know by now it's going to be a double crochet decrease in the last 2. Right, I'm going to repeat this and I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. Now we are in the last 2 stitches. We are going to double crochet 2 together in our last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. This is our long single crochet row. So in the first 2 stitches, we are going to single crochet 2 together, and then 1 double crochet up to 1 before our marker. As we're increasing, this round happens to have 4 of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2. We are at that double crochet before our stitch marker. We are doing 3 double crochets. We're doing 3 double crochets in the stitch after that. We're putting our stitch marker in between our 3 double crochet groups. And then we're doing 1 double crochet in the next 4, which will lead us to 1 single crochet, double crochet for the end of our chevron. So we're doing 1 in the next double crochet in the next 4. All right, so now we are going to do our long single crochet. So we're going to, obviously around these next 2 double crochets, we're going to put our hook into the long single crochet from the row 2 rows before, and we're going to draw up a loop around them 2 double crochets. And draw up our loop a bit, and then yarning over and drawing through 2 loops. So now we're going to skip this double crochet here. We just did our loop around, and then 1 single crochet in the next, in this case 4. we're going to do 3 double crochets into our stitch before our stitch marker. And then 3 double crochets into the stitch after. Then put our stitch in between them 2 3 double crochet groups. We're going to do 1 double crochet to the one before the end of our chevron, which in this case is the next 4. Then we are at our valley. And then we'll do our long double crochet. So we're putting our hook into the long double crochet, drawing up a loop around the 2 double crochets from the beginning and the end of our chevrons. Skipping this double crochet that we just did our long crochet around, and we're going into a double crochet into the next and up before the one before our stitch marker. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this till the end of our row, which will be till we get to the last 2 stitches of our row. You'll probably know that we're going to do a single crochet decrease in our last 2 stitches. So I'll meet up with you when I get to the end of the row. Okay, so we are at our last 2 rows, or last 2 stitches, I mean. And then we're doing single crochet 2 together. Then chain 2, and then we're going to proceed to our next row. So that was our 2 row repeat. So I would, at this point, if you want to, can change colors. That way you probably can see accent our long double crochet. Kind of like this when you change rows. When you do the long double crochet, you can see it might be better, more of an accent to see that long double crochet. It says I'm also, like I said, you can use like a self-striping yarn, like I am in this case. So you can keep doing these 2 row repeats until you want the length you want. I would obviously end on the row we just did. I'm in this case going to do about 25 rows and then show you how I finish up my tree skirt. Okay, I have now finished up 23 rows, because this is probably the first time I am doing this with the Mandala yarn, and this is what I got left for yarn. And I wanted to show you the last 2 rows I run out. But like I said, this is pretty adjustable, and if you wanted to, you can just finish off as is. It is very pretty as is. You just want to make sure you end on a long single crochet row. But if you were changing colors a lot, you might have an edge that kind of you might want to cover up what you carry over the yarn. So we are going to continue on with putting a single crochet row around this edge and putting my favorite border around it, or you can choose not to put a border. So, all right, let us continue on with how I plan to finishing up this tree skirt. So what we do now is that I am not going to turn. What we're going to do is now we're going to work on this slit edge and do single crochets evenly down the edge of our tree skirt all the way down until I reach the other end of our tree skirt. Okay, I had just finished putting a single crochet along the edge of our slit, and we're on the other side of our tree skirt. To start our border, we're going to chain 7, we're going to go back in the 4th chain from hook and do a double crochet. And then we're going to go back into the stitch that we started with at the beginning. And kind of like made a V-stitch with this cute, I guess with the chain 3 top on it. This is one of my favorite edging borders. So what we're going to do now is skip 2 double crochets, and in the next one we're going to do a double crochet, chain 3, and we're going to do a double crochet back on top of this double crochet we did, and we're going to do a double crochet back at the base of our first double crochet. Okay, then we're going to skip 2 and repeat what we just did. A double crochet, chain 3, double crochet on top of the double crochet just made, and another double crochet at the base where we did the other first double crochet. All right, and then we skip 2 double crochets, and then we're going to repeat that till we get to the tip, close to the tip of our chevron. Okay, we have reached pretty much where our 3 double crochet groups are at. So we're going to skip these 2, and then we're going to go work into the space between. Okay, we're going to skip this one, and we're going to skip this double crochet, and then we're going into the space before the next double crochet, or we're going to work between the 3 double crochet groups. So we're going to start out like we have done before. Do a double crochet, chain 3, and do a double crochet on top, a double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet again back in that same space. But we're at the tip, we're going to do that. We're going to do that one more time. Nope, not one more. Okay, not one more time. What we're going to do now we're going to make a bigger V-stitch. So now what we're going to do now again is chain 3 again. Do a double crochet on top of that last double crochet we just made. And again, double crochet back into that space. So we kind of did a double type of chevron at the tip. Or a double, we did a double like V-stitch. I don't know what to call it. A V-stitch with chain 3 on top. So we did a double one of those. So now we're going to turn around. I'm going to go down the other side of our chevron. We are going to skip this two to double crochets and proceed on as before. Do a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet on top of what we just double crochet we just made, and a double crochet back down into the same stitch we just made. Skip 2 double crochets and go back and proceed as before. I'll show you what to do when we get closer to the dip of our chevron. Okay, we have reached close to our dip. We have 2 double crochets left. This long single crochet from the previous row. So what we're going to do now is skip these 2 last double crochets and do a simple single crochet into where the long single crochet was. Skip 2 and skip 2 double crochets and proceed like before. And so you can repeat this for all the remaining chevrons in our tree skirt. And I'll let you know what to do when we get toward the end of this row. Now we've reached the end. Skip 2 and then we'll just do our established, those don't call like it's kind of like a V-stitch, but it's kind of like got a V-stitch with a crown on it. That is it. We finish this off and our project is done. And there you have it, my finished tree skirt. If you did like this tutorial, please give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I want to thank you for watching.